get any sleep, Lisa?
Oh, just a little cat nap, but it's okay.
Good, you look much more relaxed.
Oh, I feel much better. Oh, Bennett, did you have a word with Hester?
Yeah, I gave her a very strong warning.
A warning?
Yeah, I told her if she does anything to make you feel uncomfortable, anything at all, that I'd dismiss her immediately.
I see. Tell me something. Did she, try to deny at all about, frightening me to death last night?
Yeah, she still denies it.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all. But I tell you, Bennett, I know the painting of Ruth was over the mantel, just where it always had been, and I know that no one but Hester could have had anything to do with it, and it had been cut. It had been slashed across the face. It was horrible, and I got so frightened, and when I tried to get out of the room, well, she had to be holding the door. I could not get out of the room. I could not.
Take it easy. Calm down. You're going to get yourself all upset all over again. She insists that she was in her room asleep until she showed up in here.
How can that be? Tell me, how could that possibly be? Who else would do such a horrible thing?
Look, I want you to try to forget this whole thing. If Hester was responsible, I promise she'll never do it again.
How can you be sure of that?
She doesn't want to lose her job here.
Oh, come on now. Look, if she feels she can get by with this, she's going to try something else to frighten me again.
Look, you didn't see her, and you really can't accuse her without proof. Look, I'm not saying that what you say happened didn't happen, but, well, the room was locked and I have the only key.
Oh, Hester would find a way, don't you understand? She could have had a duplicate key made. She had plenty of opportunity to do that. Oh, I don't trust that woman.
Lisa, you're creating a very awkward situation for me. After all, I've known Hester all my life. Can't you please try to forget this from me?
All right, for you, I will try. But believe me, I am going to watch that woman like a hawk. And I am going to insist if she does anything to frighten me again, you must dismiss her.
Okay, good. That's a deal. And you won't have to insist, because that's exactly what I'll do.
All right.
What's that, Hester?
These just arrived from Mrs. Coleman.
Oh, my. Oh, what a surprise. David? Oh. Why, it's to us from Derek.
Us? Flowers are for you, aren't they?
Well, no. It says, well, to a charming and gracious hostess who will guarantee the success of the inn when the Willows reopens its doors, Derek. Oh, darling, isn't this beautiful? Look at those roses and look at the stems. Aren't they beautiful?
Please write in the amount of each check.
And try not to spend too much.
Yeah, that would help too. Hello, Jeff.
Well?
I know what you're thinking, but you're wrong.
No, I'm not. But I have proof now. It's just a matter of waiting until the right moment to use it.
Marcia, they were in the elevator together. Do you know how many people ride the same elevator every day in a place as big as this?
There was also a look in their faces, but that's not the proof I'm talking about. I found something of hers on the floor of Doug's car after one of his late nights at the hospital.
You're dead wrong. You know that, Marcia?
I can't imagine why you're trying to cover for them. I know I'm right, Jeff. By the way, want to thank you again for the drink you bought me and the pleasure of your company.
Well, it's my pleasure, too.
Let's just say it was very mutual, I hope. It brought back a great many wonderful memories. I only have one question, though. I haven't exactly been subtle in letting you know that I still find you terribly attractive, just as much as I did years ago. And for weeks and weeks, you didn't respond at all, and then suddenly, out of the blue, you did. Why?
Well, I'm only human. I could resist just so long.
Well, I'm certainly glad I didn't give up before that resistance of yours wore down. I'll talk to you later, okay?
I think you're doing just fine.
What?
Well, I notice you're there with Mrs. Campbell. I'm glad to see you're taking my advice.
Yeah, well, I know, you told me what I had to do to get what I want, but you forgot to tell me how to live with myself in the meantime.
Not bothering you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you'll get over that. Listen, I believe that the end justifies the means, and when you get that appointment, you'll see that I'm right about that.
Right.
I'd like a word with you if you have the time.
I'll see you later.
Okay. Of course I have the time. Matter of fact, I wanted to talk to you, too. I wanted to tell you how much I am enjoying your new watercolor.
Oh, thank you, dear. I'll send it to you as a gift as soon as I finish it.
Send it.
Yes, tomorrow I'm going to the nursing home. But as soon as I get my strength back, I'm going out to visit my grandson in Denver.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Come in.
Hello, darling. I'm sorry to disturb you. I don't mean to, but I thought maybe you might like some hot coffee.
It's just exactly what I need.
Good. Oh. I'm not going to stay. I don't want to distract you.
You're not distracting me from anything but a blank sheet of paper.
Oh.
I haven't written anything worthwhile in over an hour.
It looks like you've done quite a bit of work over there.
Not enough.
Oh, you writers, you're always so critical of yourselves.
It's fine when it's up in here, but I put it down on paper and something's missing.
Well, good grief, Bennett. How in the world can you expect to write anything anyway with that picture up there staring down at you with those awful, piercing eyes?
That's my great-grandfather's brother, old Nathaniel Hadley.
Well, he still looks very disapproving to me.
That's probably because he's reading over my shoulder.
Oh, you. When are you going to let me read what you write?
Maybe never.
What?
Well, if I'm not pleased with what I'm doing.
Oh. Bennett, you're too critical of yourself. Hey, you know, I think it's just a stroke of luck that Derek Bickford has dropped into our lives. Don't you think so?
Luck?
Yes, of course. He is in the publishing business. He might be just the person to help you get your novel published. I think you ought to talk to him about it.
I don't think he'd appreciate or understand my novel. I'm writing about some of the deepest emotions that people have. And forgive me, Lisa, but Derek Bickford strikes me as rather a shallow man.
Oh, no, I don't think he is at all. I think he's charming and he has a sense of humor.
But
he seems...
not very deep.
Bennett, look, he is very responsible for having some fine books published. I think it would be very foolish of you not to take advantage of his being here in Norwich for a while. Now, please, darling, let him read some of your work.
I'm not ready to show him anything. Besides, he's just going to be here for a few days.
Mrs. Coleman?
Yes?
Derek Bickford is in the sitting room waiting to see you.
For heaven's sake. Bennett, come with me. Let's talk to Derek. Come on.
No, I think I'll go back to my blank page. Maybe I can get started now. Just explain that I'm busy.
All right.
I'm warning you, Bennett. She is cut out of the same piece of cloth as Ruth was.
I don't want to hear your nonsense.
It isn't nonsense to me. If you could see your face, you'd be just as frightened as I
Hester,
am.
will you please go back to whatever it is that you're busy with? I told you to go, Hester. deny it any longer. Everything in my life is coming full circle since the night Lisa first came here looking for refuge from the storm. The pattern is repeating itself, and I find myself praying that it won't end the same way. For both our sakes.
Hello? Oh, hello, Mrs. Campbell. It's nice to see you. How did your little boy like the books? What books? I recommended some children's books to your husband, and he bought them. I was just wondering if he liked them.
I'm sure he did. At the moment, though, I'm looking for some light reading for myself. Can you recommend anything?
Oh. Let me see. Yes, I've had some very good reports on this one from some of the nurses.
Have you read it yourself?
No, I'm afraid not.
I guess you don't have much time for reading, do you?
Well, I have some, but it seems like never enough.
This isn't quite my cup of tea.
Oh. Okay, well, let's see. Maybe there's something else over here.
I'm probably making a terrible mistake asking you to recommend a book for me, because we have so little in common. Oh, I hope you didn't take that as a put down. No, actually, I admire girls like you. You work very hard to get what you want out of life. That's probably the one quality we do share. The only difference is when I get something, I don't just stand back and let someone else walk in and take it away from me, even if I am rather bored with it at the moment. You didn't expect all this?
I don't really understand what you're talking about.
What did you expect from me?
Nothing. I don't know what you mean.
Well, I'll look for books some other time. Thanks anyway. At the moment, I have to return Doug's car keys. Is he in his office?
I have no idea.
Am I supposed to believe that?
What's wrong?
I don't know. I just had the strangest conversation with that woman who just left. Dr. Campbell's wife.
Well, you seem kind of upset about it.
Well, yes. I mean, she was insinuating all kinds of things. Or at least I think she was. I can't imagine why.
Well, have you had some kind of problems with her before?
I've never even had a conversation with her.
What does she want?
She said she was here to buy a book. But I know that's not what was on her mind. What was she driving at? She had no reason to say those things to me.
Melinda, I don't think you ought to drive yourself crazy trying to figure out what she meant. Why don't you just go and ask her?
You're right. You know something? It's exactly what I'm going to do.
Good.
Could you watch the store for a minute, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hi. You know where Doug is right now?
Let me check my schedule. He's with Dr. Sampson.
Oh, I won't bother you now. In fact, don't even tell him I came by. All right.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh. Mrs. Campbell,
Yes.
you said some very strange things in the bookstore just a few minutes ago, and I'm not stupid. I didn't like the tone of your insinuations.
I never meant to imply you were stupid. I just think you ought to realize that I'm not stupid either. I know all about your sleeping with my husband all these nights he's supposedly working late here at the hospital. Now, if you're bright, you'll put a quick end to it now that you know I'm on to you. It's a situation that just doesn't have any future for you, my dear.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute, I had no idea. What are you talking about?
I think what she did was unforgivable.
Well, there's a happy ending to that story. And he's found you.
Really, I found him. It was one night, a terrible storm. I banged on the door in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's a very romantic beginning.
Oh, yes.
But how's it going to be for you up here after you're married? I mean, you're not used to living in a place like Norwich, are you?
Oh, it's going to be fine. I mean, Oakdale was a much larger place. In fact, I'd say it was a small city.
And won't you be lonely up here at the inn?
Of course not. I told you we're thinking about redoing the inn and opening it up soon. We'll have loads of guests here. Of course, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time learning how to run an inn.
Won't Bennett do most of that?
Well, I hope to take over a large part of it. That will give Bennett more time for his writing. That brings me to something very important. I have a favor to ask of you. Now, mind you, I will understand if you say no.
It'll be awfully hard to say no to you.
Well, thank you. But Bennett is, he is very, very modest about his writing. And I would be so appreciative if you would read his novel.
Oh, is it finished?
Well, no, it isn't yet. But I thought maybe if you could read just a part of it, and then you could talk to Bennett and perhaps suggest to him what publisher he could go to that would be right for his type of work.
I'd be more than delighted to do that. I'll ask Bennett to show it to me.
Now, that's one thing you mustn't do. You see, I've already talked to Bennett about this, and he says absolutely not.
Well, isn't that going to make it a little difficult, then?
No, not if I can get my hands on the first chapter of the manuscript.
Without his permission?
If you read it very quickly, I can get it back before he misses it.
And what happens if he does?
Well, then I'll just have to tell him the truth. Would you read it?
Yeah, as quickly as possible. Because you know what I like best about this arrangement? I'll get to see you twice more before I have to leave Norwich.
Twice?
Well, once when you give me the manuscript, and then again when I give it back to you.
All right. I'll tell you what we'll do. As soon as I get my hands on that first chapter, I will call you at Dr. Bickford's house, and you come over and you get it, and you read it and return it to me. Now, remember, this is strictly between us. Our secret.
Absolutely.
Good.
Oh, Jeff, would you come and join me?
Sure.
I was going to call you into my office later today, but well, I think we could talk right now. Look, the last time this came up, I wasn't ready to tell you who I'd recommended to the board for Alex's post. But now I can, and I'd like you to hear it from me.
Well, I've already heard. Lyra Sampson, isn't it?
Right. Sorry you didn't hear it from me first.
It's not important, is it?
Well, I guess not, but I hope you agree that she's highly qualified to be chief of surgery.
Well, I don't have any argument with her qualifications.
Well, I hope you're also aware that she has a lot of experience and a lot of years.
Right, yes, I know that. I'm also aware that I have certain qualifications that could be more meaningful than age or experience.
I've looked into your qualifications, Jeff, and I've tried to be fair. After our last discussion, I reevaluated my decision. And in all honesty, I decided to stick to my original opinion.
Right.
You just can't quite accept that, can you?
You know, I have all my life bucked the system and people like you.
What does that mean, people like me?
It means that I wasn't born into it like a lot of doctors here at Memorial. You know, I've had to fight every inch of the way to get where I am today. I don't have any other choice but to keep on fighting. And that is exactly what I'm going to do.
Jeff.
Excuse me.
And I personally have never underestimated the part a woman plays in her husband's career.
Well, I don't know how much of a part I've played in Doug's career. I really try not to interfere with his work. I couldn't really, even if I wanted to. I'm not up on the everyday things, the administrative things he has to handle at the hospital. Only every now and then do I know what's really going on. For instance, I know how much time he's put in on coming up with just the right name for the temporary replacement for Alex Keith.
Oh, yes, that item comes up at tomorrow's board meeting. I'm really looking forward to hearing your husband's recommendations.
It's not easy with so many qualified doctors on the staff. And I really admire Doug's belief that younger men shouldn't be ruled out automatically as they so often are.
Oh, well, sometimes they are only because they're more experienced doctors around.
Yes, but, well, Doug really believes that younger people can bring energy, new thinking to a job that might make up for their lack of experience.
That's an excellent point. As a matter of fact, your husband himself is a good example of that.
Yes, that's true. I'm sure that Doug's probably going to be recommending a young surgeon that he's always talking about, Jeff Ward, and... Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I really didn't mean to. I would hope you wouldn't say anything to Doug about it.
Oh, of course not. I like your obvious enthusiasm.
Oh, I see. I just don't want Doug to think
You don't have to worry. In fact, I won't even mention the fact that I heard the name before, till it comes from Dr. Campbell.
Oh, I'd really appreciate that. I do my best to try to support Doug in his work, but I also try not to interfere. I just don't think that would be right. Oh, will you have another cup of tea?
Oh, I'd love another cup, dear.
Bennett, you going out?
Yeah, I thought I'd go out for a walk to clear my head after a full day at the typewriter.
Did you have a productive day?
Well, I don't know, I think so. I may change my mind tomorrow.
Oh, I'm sure it was very good.
There's an opinion I can respect, especially since you've never seen a word I've written. Hey, how about coming out for a walk with me?
Well, I'm so cozy right now and everything. Maybe another day.
Okay, I want you to do whatever you want to do.
I'd like to finish this note I'm writing to Tom.
Good. Give him my regards.
I surely will. Oh, darling, on your way out, would you ask Hester to fix me a cup of tea?
Hester's gone shopping.
Oh, never mind then.
I'll fix your tea for you.
I wouldn't hear of it.
Why not?
Oh, because I'll fix it myself.
No, please, let me do something for you. I'd really love to.
Oh, you already do everything for me. Just loving me, then it's all. I'll fix my tea.
Whatever you say.
Have a nice walk.
You know, Lisa, I want you to know that you've become the very core of my life.
Why, Bennett, that's lovely. It's very serious sounding.
I'm very serious about this.
Well, thank you. I'm very flattered.
If anything ever happened to you, I don't think I could go on with my life.
Nothing's going to happen to me.
No, it mustn't.
Look, we're going to be married soon, and we're going to live happily ever after. I really believe in all that.
I'm glad you do.
Well, don't you?
I certainly like the idea. See you later.
Chapter 1. Chapter 1. From the moment she came into my life, I knew that life would be over if I ever lost her. She was beautiful beyond belief and willful, too, and impetuous. Her name was Ruth.